Hello everyone and welcome to your Tuesday lighting critique. We've got a few images to go through today. Lots of good stuff, lots of really powerful images to go through, and just really great submissions from a huge range of sources. First off, I want to bring up something that was a great idea by Dari. And the idea was basically like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a little stamp or a logo or something we could add to our lighting challenges when we're sending them out, to either putting them on our demo reels and sending them out to people. And we were happy to oblige by that. So we are in the process of designing these stamps that you can put on your images if you want. And for anyone who wins the competition, they get a little winner badge. And, we had to go through some iterations because like, this design looks really great when it's over dark, but when it's over white, you can't read it, and the gold kind of gets lost and the white lettering kind of gets lost. So we're just trying to figure out a way of balancing that. But I did just want to bring that up, not for the specifics of this, but to tell you guys, if you ever have any ideas about ways that we can make the classes or our interactions with you better, Jasmine and I are incredibly open to all of those. And we just want to hear from you guys more, and because you all are brilliant, and we want to hear your guys' great ideas. So never, ever hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, so I missed Mauro's yesterday, so I do want to start off here. Mauro, you're making huge progress from where we were with this project. It's gaining so much interest, and like you're getting some like detail stuff, like these little flings on this that are looking really nice. The bubbles over his face, I would almost take those away, or just because like the bubbles, you want them to be clear in the middle and then just like picking up something around the edge, like with a little bit of a facing ratio thing. It's just that at this point, they look like white spots and they're just occluding the character's face. Like they're kind of blocking us from seeing him a little bit. So I would kind of take those out or make them just transparent in the middle and only kind of read the edge of them. But, and then additionally, and this might be a render artifact, actually, now that I'm looking at it, because I thought this was I was looking right here, and I guess maybe that's just his eye, and I'm just now seeing it, but I thought that was like the water level, and that's where it was breaking, but that's actually up there. So that actually might just be his eye. Never mind on that one. The other big one is I just want this side of his face to go darker. Like, I think it's good that I love the color in there. It's just the values are just too similar from left to right. Like, this is nice and bright. I just really want to feel that full roll off to a darker value. Like, we kind of get a little bit darker here in the core, but it never really gets to any level like we're seeing down here, right? I don't think it needs to go this dark, but like, do you see how much shaping there is there and how much like you just want to reach out and squeeze it? I'm not getting that same feeling out of the face. Something else you might want to consider, underwater, you don't see a lot of you don't see any specularity really. But on a wet surface you do. So it could be kind of fun to play up the differences between what we're seeing underwater and above. So try it, maybe adding a little bit of specular just to that region up there. Maybe render out a separate spec pass and just kind of paint it in. This is nice the way that we're focusing in. This is getting a little bit too burnt out. I would just tone that down just a touch. Yeah. I think that'll be our biggest things for right now. And then I'm trying to think. I'm looking right now, and I like some of these cooler hits we're getting in some of these areas. It would be nice if we got some in over here too. It's just, they look really nice and they don't distract, but they add more visual interest around the scene. So it'd be nice to get those kind of cool hits around on these foreground objects a little more. But really great stuff and really nice progress. All right, so Aaron, I saw yours and I also saw Nigel's, and you guys are very similar. Like, you both went ghostly, so that's cool. I think there was something in the air last night. Okay, so I'm liking this connection point that you've now created between them. It's nice that this is glowing up and hitting all these different areas and creating some good shaping in there. I think that's nice. I'm trying to think. I want there to be more haze in the air and that haze be influenced by the color. Like, I want to see like a pool of like red haze over here. That's kind of, let's see if we can simulate this. Let's try and make this a little bit more red. It's a little janky, but like just something that's like more moisture in the air that kind of feels like it's glowing up a little bit. And then over here, we can do the same thing. But for you, it would be a matter of getting more like environmental fog kind of a thing. And then, let's see. Let's shift that a little more green. So now there's like a hazy glow around them. And I think that will really, really help out. Excuse me. So yeah, if we put these two together. Yeah, and then we can kind of see how just adding those a little bit will help us out. And then I'm trying to think what else. I would like to see, like, let's let this area go a little bit into darkness. Like, let's let these two, like the core values of these, go darker to create like almost like a framing element to kind of really center us in there. And then you want to get some sort of reflection or something in this window. I think that'll really help out a lot too. But really good stuff. All right, let's hop over to Nigel's because, again, similar ghostly qualities. Love that you were influenced by what you were watching. That's the best when you're just excited about a project and you're just, whatever kind of infiltrates your life gets in there. I think your ghost looks really good. I think this looks really nice. I think this is a nice amount of light distribution around the character. Same thing with the last one. Like you've got some glowy elements in there. I think you can maybe push the glow a little bit more. These headlights look great. Like that inner beam with just this kind of going out, like really, really strong stuff. And I love that it's like scraping across the ground and getting all of these little bumps and stuff. Same thing, windshield. Let's it's a little murky. Let's make it more like a reflective, like reflective glass. I would tone down what we're seeing in the background here, especially that tree, and then make this tree a little bit darker back there, because it's nice that we're stepping back into like darks, and then a little bit lighter. Like this is a little bit darker than this, but then once we get back there, it goes way, like it jacks way up in the amount of atmospheric stuff in there. So I would just tone that down a little bit, and then maybe darken this rock over here as well. But really, really beautiful stuff overall. And then yeah, I think that's, and then watch out for, there's some light in here that's causing a very sharp shadow. I see it here, I see it here, and I see it down in here. Just soften that, increase that radius. You really want to soften that, but really beautiful stuff, man. This is looking great. Ashley, you know what? Let's stay in the mindset of the house here, and then we'll jump over to yours, Ashley. Okay, so Jenn, this is looking really cool. I like the reference. You said you like this, but you wanted to infuse a little bit more warmth into it, which is, I think, a unique take on it, which is a lot of fun and really cool. So one thing, there's just some like artifacts or something in there and down here. I'm not quite sure what those are. Also, you're kind of seeing it in there. So just something to be aware of. I'm not quite sure what's causing that, but just something to be aware of. So you're doing it looks like you're doing kind of an edge defocus thing, which feels more, it's like Instagram kind of ruined that look because it just feels like an Instagram filter. So I would take that off, because like we're not seeing that here. Like it's nice We've got some depth of field stuff going on, but like not around the edges, just in the foreground and background. And that feels more natural to me. Specifically, you have to be careful when you have an angle like this where you're up above eye level, like we're clearly, 10, 20 feet up in the air, that you don't mess with depth of field too much, because then it really, really, really starts to feel like a miniature set. This far background, I would... Here's the problem. It's too out of focus, and again makes it feel too small, because like these trees are totally in focus, and we go totally blurry back behind them. They're also like super huge, right? These are like 100-foot tall trees, and again makes this feel kind of small. So it's throwing off our scale, and it's throwing off our depth a little bit. So I would consider having a background plate that does not have trees in it, or just like allows for a sky, or something more along, so the trees kind of stay along this line and they never really get up into that level. There's a couple of areas I'm not quite sure what's happening there and there. You might want to look into that. But in terms of the shot overall, I think, like I said, I really like your idea. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the hero character there. She feels green, but like I don't know. Like she's not really reacting to the rest of the light. So I wasn't really sure. Like I see a little bit of green here, so I guess it's emitting light from the eyes, but it's almost like I want her to go like into that dark shape, like the original concept art. So there's that, and then for infusing warmth, I do think that we can create some more warmth around the house, because as I kind of like step back and squint at it, the house itself feels cooler than everything else in the scene, to the point where it's almost kind of like standing out a little bit. So I would just try and get some more warmth on the house to really kind of tie it all together a little bit. Like it's nice that it's popping off, like that's certainly a benefit, but it's almost like it's getting a different set of lights than other things. Like I see this window light is going here on the ground, but it's just like I'm not seeing this light bouncing up here and then around into there too. So that's how I would go from there. All right, let's see if anybody else has any haunted house scenes. This is more Nigel. Okay. Well, let's go to Ashley, then I'll jump back here to Pearl. Ashley. Okay. So really good stuff. I think we need to lower our key to fill ratio a little bit more, because there's if we're trying to create this like soft mood, I think that the amount of key light, and then as it goes, like it feels a little bit too dramatic, contrasty. So I would just tone that down, and really what it is just taking off these extreme brights off the key, like pretty much right there and on her shirt and like that stuff. Like just rolling it off a little bit and then increasing the amount of bounce light that we're getting in here just a little bit more. And I think that'll be a really nice first step from there. And again, because like we want to see like some of these get filled in just a little bit more to kind of create the mood. And with the overhead light, it's, it might just be a matter of increasing that radius too, because like seeing how sharp these shadows are here and on her arm. Like I know it's a small light source up ahead, but let's play it up bigger. Because when you're shooting a film and you want to simulate restaurant lighting, you know that there are going to be small pennant lights up overhead. But what they do is they will actually put a large light box overhead so that the light being cast is softer. So like it's not actually like they won't actually just use the restaurant light. They'll use light to help influence the scene. Colors on the background look good. It would be never mind. I was going to say something that I disagree with automatically already with the background. But yeah, let's just go with that, and then we will see. And then also see if you can get some more specular highlights in her hair, just to get some more shaping up in there. I think that'll look really, really, really good. So Pearl, love this shot. This is a beautiful shot from Moana. I think this is the very end, right? Like where I don't give away the ending, where she's basically helping stack rocks. But yes, I totally agree. The one thing that's really nice about this that I wanted to point out, a couple things. Like look at the colors in the shadows are beautiful because they're taking a few things into account. Number one is the cool sky. Number 2 is this like pinkiness kind of from the shell bouncing back in there. And also like there's translucency around the edge. So if you look, the edge of the shadow is slightly different than the core because of that translucency. And I think that's working out really well. This is not an easy shot to light. Like if we're looking at this, what are we seeing? Like the shell is the only thing that really provides any sort of like volume. The rest of this stuff is just like pretty flat edge stuff. But like look how they're able to get shaping across here. This rock looks great. And across there. So I guarantee you they had to like fiddle that key light in just the right place, just so it just barely scrapes down the side of the rock and picks up all that detail stuff. But like this blue filled in shadowy area looks great. And I love the difference in the waters. And then like looking at the actually we're going to hop to Donika's next because this plays well. Like look at the fade between the horizon line and the sky, and then we've got clouds which are just getting kissed by the sun up there, and then they're getting their reflections in the water. Just really, really gorgeous stuff. So thank you for submitting. It's really exciting to have you in the class, and I'm excited to see you start working towards making beautiful shots like this too. This is gonna be fun. Danica, yes. Okay, so same thing. So like look how this is fading up, and it kind of gets a little bit out of focus back there. You don't have to go quite to that level, but it would be nice to get like a couple pixel blur back there. And the other reason why I wanted to pair these with yours was to look at the coolness of the shadows. I can like these are getting a little bit too pure black. I like the darkness, but especially in this shadow over here, it would be really great to infuse some of that cooler color in there. The other things that I would do for you would just be to darken all this stuff in the extreme foreground. Like really make that be like a framing element. And then the last thing would be softening the specular on the side of his face. But that's pretty much it, because this is looking like just darkening these. I'm looking at these like into those values. Like you really want them, because right now they're kind of hazy. You want them to be the dark, like you want them to be a little bit darker than they are overall, like bring down the exposure on them. The easiest way to do that would be to render those separately and then just do that in the comp. But yeah, this is by far the best thing that you've created. I think you should be extraordinarily proud of this. The development that you've had is profound, and I think this is really, really great stuff. Forrest, okay, talk about the rest of Poker Puss. Yes, the color saturation you have is great. I love the way that this is shaping us down into his eyes there. I think that's really cool. Spot on his face is good. I still would want to get like just a touch more specularity in the side here, but I think we might be, given the lighting scenario with all these soft lights, that might be the most that we can get out of it. The last thing would be maybe ambient occlusion, just something to get a little more shaping around the edge of these eyes. And I think other than that, you're pretty much good from there. I think this is looking great. I think that you're extremely close. Just those last few touches, and I would call it done. All right, I've skipped around quite a bit. Let me make sure I got everybody. Yes, okay. Great. Now let's do the one final check back in the Facebook group to make sure that, and no one's posted while I've been recording. We have one. We have two. We have three. Holy free holies. Okay. Yeah, in the last 22 minutes. Okay. So I'm not going to open these in Photoshop. My gut reaction when I first opened this is more blue in some of these areas. It's a little too dark, a little too black and white. I want to feel like, do you feel there's that coolness in the entire shot? I want to feel that in its entirety. Your textures look a lot better on some of these and on the wall. It's a little too contrasty in here. Like I want this just to kind of go dark overall. Like this feels like it's not really reacting to the light. It feels like it's just ambient color in there. And then, let's see. Yeah, you really want this light to be brighter around the source and like fall off as we go across the scene. And what we're seeing here is it's kind of just bright universally. Like have it kind of fade down as you're coming across. And again, it's interesting that we're seeing it here, but not here. Like maybe there's like a second bit of light because this just looks like there's an extreme spotlight right outside that window. So just something to look through and explore there. Okay. So next up, oh, these are all Dani. Ah, got it. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at your reference. See, now you guys are just watching me do this in real time. Okay, so the reference is from Shrek. It's like stage play. Interesting. Huh. Well, this is a funny take on it because now it's so a couple things. The first thing I noticed was this light up here. Like it doesn't. You want to increase the base shape of the spotlight because you don't want it to like fall down into just that. This is kind of funny because now it just feels like a high school play. So we've got this. Let's see. Oh, looking at the reference. Okay, so this edge is a little bit softer. We're really kind of playing up the different areas. Yeah, I really kind of want to see the edge of the spotlight here to kind of really play that up. And same thing down here, just kind of like softening the edge a little bit more. And then everything else in the middle could go much darker. So like I don't want to see, you know, like how we're not seeing the stuff in the background and really anywhere else outside. I think you can do that here as well. So just darken, especially the stuff back behind, to really kind of center us in here. And I'm wondering if, I don't know how stage lighting works. I guess you only have a couple on at a time. Because like, again, with this stuff in the middle, I'm seeing a lot of like green cool light, but I'm not seeing anything to kind of showcase that. It's also odd that it's behind the house. Like I feel that feels much closer. That's throwing me off a little bit. And then it's also like, it almost feels like there should be a worse sky. You know what I mean? Because if it's a stage play, like that feels like too fancy of a sky. It should be something else back there. Or maybe just darkness. But yeah, so this is an interesting take on it. I'm excited to see where that goes. All right, let's see. What latest pass in the poker quiz? By the way, when I first read that, I thought your text up here said the last pass on the poker post, which I thought was funny. It was like, nope, not doing any more with this. So, yes. Okay. How can we make this better? I think I'm almost wondering if there should be a volumetric light coming in here around him and like kind of casting God rays around him coming in. I think that might help a little. The table is a little bright, but I, again, love the secondary effects on it. So it almost might be a matter of let's see, like taking down. Yeah, just try taking this light value down. And if we lose too much of that, then you can put in a second light that's just like an area light here that's bouncing up onto the cards and the rest of the elements here, because that's looking really nice. But yeah, like the white chips are just blowing out way too much. Even the reds and blues are just very, very bright. It's funny. The lighting on him feels like he's being more affected by what's coming in through the door than what's directly over his head. So I would take this down and really try and get it more about the light that's directly on him. Like take that down by like 50% and then just create that. And I don't want to see these over here. Just kind of take those down, maybe another 30%. And then, yeah, I would say go from there. But again, I've always loved the structure of this shot. I just think we, just some tweaks and we'll get the values and everything else looking right. So I think that's everyone. We'll do one more refresh and make sure. I always feel bad when I miss somebody because I always feel like you have to wait another day. All right. I think that's everyone. Okay. Thanks for participating today, guys. If you have any questions at all, like I said, throw them in the comments down below, and I will make sure to check them out. All right. Happy lighting, everybody.